Now, breaking news from WRAL. Coverage you can count on.
4 pets were killed at a house fire here in Willow Springs overnight. We have a look at the damage as investigators continue to work to learn what caused this fire.
And we're looking at hot conditions, dangerous heat for the weekend, Saturday and Sunday near record highs. And of course, we're looking at an even hotter heat index. I'll show you what it'll feel like.
And this morning, a huge pallet fire at a business near Dunn is finally out. The effort that went into getting that out in the early morning hours and getting it controlled after it burned more than 10 acres.
And the baseball world is mourning the death of legendary Willie Mays. How fans, teams, and the entire sport are remembering him. Mays passing away yesterday at the age of 93. We will tell you how they're honoring his legacy coming up in a little bit. Thanks for joining us on your Wednesday morning. I'm Michelle McConaughey in for NHU.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. Thanks for making us part of your Wednesday here. Say hey, Willie, you know. They always say hey to your Wednesday here. And it's going to be a hot one again. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. That's pretty in Roxborough.
Isn't that gorgeous? The sun just popped up over the horizon. It's nice and calm out there this morning. We have some cloud cover. Not overcast skies, but partly cloudy for this morning. And that'll be the case through the afternoon. It's really comfortable out there right now. Our dew point is sitting at 62, which is solidly in the nice zone. And 69 is our temperature in the triangle. It's a little lower than that in some other spots. As a matter of fact, in some places, our temperatures are 3 to 5 degrees cooler than they were this time yesterday. And 60s all across the entire viewing area. 62 Southern Pines, 63 in Goldsboro, 61 in Roxborough right now. And again, our humidity is on the low side too. So a very comfortable start, very pleasant this morning. We do climb into the mid 80s at lunchtime, and we will see a high of 90 this afternoon. So yes, it will be hot, but we're looking at, as cool a 90-degree day as you can find. We'll talk about the intense heat for the weekend more coming up. Potential tropical cyclone 1 is likely to make landfall in Mexico this evening and overnight, but likely to bring some very heavy rain to Mexico and Texas. And we'll take a closer look at that, as well as what it will feel like through the weekend. Coming up, Ken.
Hi, Elizabeth. At 6:01, a rather quiet start to your morning commute on this Juneteenth. Looking around the Triangle and surrounding communities, all the major roadways are delay-free at this hour, which is exactly what you want to hear, right? Let's take you outside, give you a live look at the Beltline. This is 440 on the northern side of the Beltline at Lake Boone Trail. The westbound lanes are coming toward us. You can see traffic is picking up just a bit, and you expect that this time of the morning, but moving rather smoothly.
Breaking news we're following this morning. A family has lost 4 pets in a fire. The fire happened at a home in Wake County. You see it on this map here, Willow Spring, Chimeric Court. WRAL's Laura Levine is there live for us this morning. And Laura, terrible about the pets. The family was able to get out safely.
They were. Good morning, Jeff. Crews have been on this scene for more than 5 hours. In fact, the last fire truck just rolled off the scene here behind me. You can see, though, now that the sun is up, a better look at some of the damage. You can see the home is completely taped off with caution tape. We do have a Wake County Sheriff's Office deputy here parked right in front of the home because, as you can see, I mean, just significant damage. This happened around 12:30 this morning. A neighbor tells me that he saw some smoke and flames coming from the home. It appeared it began from the deck and then spread throughout the house. I am told the family is okay. As you've mentioned, they were able to make it out safely. However, 4 of their cats did not survive. They do have a 5th cat who is at the vet at this time. So a very just terrible situation this morning here in Willow Springs. Several different agencies responded to this fire. Again, the Fuquay Arena Fire Department just left, so the scene just cleared here. At this time, they're working to determine what caused the fire. Laura Levine, WRAL News, live in Wake County.
And this morning, a massive fire at a pallet business near I-95 is now out. Crews were there working until early this morning. Take a look at this. This was not the first time they've been called to this business. Nick Perlin was there on the WRAL Breaking News Tracker.
I'm Nick Perlin in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker, where a massive fire broke out in a warehouse in Sampson County, burning nearly 10 to 15 acres of land. This fire was first reported at around 4 yesterday afternoon, a few miles east of Dunn. People who live nearby say this is the third time a fire like this has broken out in the area in the past 6 years. Firefighters from 6 counties and the NC Forestry Service battled the fire. They do have it contained and are continuing to let it burn out on its own. Right now, there are no reports of injuries, and the cause of this fire is still under investigation. In Sampson County, Nick Perlin, WRAL News.
Good morning, I'm Chris Levingood. Join me here in the Live Center as we continue to get more information regarding this situation that unfolded on US 64 near Wendell and Wake County overnight. I want to play some of this video here, and I'm going to stop it occasionally to show you what I'm talking about. So when we got there in the breaking news tracker, there is this red vehicle, and you'll notice there's a stroller in the trunk of this. I'll keep playing here because you'll notice there's that baggie that's on the side here. It's a little blurry, but the next frame will show you clearly what appears to be some ammunition there. I count at least 5 rounds, possibly a 6th one near that clumped up piece of plastic that is there. And then the rest of the video basically shows you the damage done to this car. Essentially, we've reached out to State Highway Patrol trying to get more specifics on this case. We called them a while ago, and the last we heard from them, they said right now, no other details to confirm. So stay with WRAL News as we try to piece together what happened here.
Thanks, Chris. You're going to want to pay close attention to your body this week as temperatures climb. Heat exhaustion can sneak up on you. Babies and people ages 65 and older are at greater risk of heat stroke. Their bodies don't regulate heat as well. Duke's Associate Professor of Emergency Medicine tells WRAL one of the key signs to watch for is if you or your loved one is feverish.
So if someone is starting to sweat a lot, get really fatigued, maybe not acting like they normally act, they might be experiencing signs and symptoms of heat stroke. And so the best thing you can do is to get that person out of the heat and get them hydrated, as well as calling 911.
And if you have to be outside, Dr. Joyner says the best thing you can do is hydrate before you go out and take frequent breaks.
Governor Roy Cooper will honor Juneteenth and its cultural significance with an official proclamation today. Governor Cooper will be joined by Second Gentleman Doug Emhoff and other elected leaders for an event in Raleigh this morning. That gets started at 10:30. Emhoff will also be at a Juneteenth event today in Durham. He'll join Mayor Leonardo Williams and other local leaders there for a barbecue lunch at noon.
The baseball world is mourning the death of one of the game's greatest all-time players, Willie Mays. This was the scene at Wrigley Field in Chicago last night. Mays' longtime team, the San Francisco Giants, were playing there when news of his death at the age of 93 was announced. At the Giants' home park, fans have turned a statue of Mays into a makeshift memorial. They left flowers, notes, and other mementos to honor the legendary player. The Say Hey kid played for 22 seasons from the 1950s into the 70s. He still ranks 6th all-time for career home runs and 12th in hits. He was inducted into the Baseball Hall of Fame in 1979.
New this morning, Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un are strengthening their country's ties. This morning, Kim vowed his full support and solidarity for Russia during the war in Ukraine. The leaders signed an agreement to solidify that alignment. Putin says it includes a vow of mutual assistance if either nation is attacked. NBC News reports that deal would send more military technology to North Korea in exchange for supplies that Russia's military badly needs on the battlefield.
The Wake County Public School Board is taking steps to end hair discrimination in schools. Natural and so-called cultural hairstyles would be okay for students and employees under a policy update. The board will consider final approval next month. The board also voted to continue its school resource officer contracts for next year as well. Some board members say they'd like to see more data on outcomes of SRO programs for students.
The company behind some of the biggest weight loss drugs in the world is planning a major expansion in Johnston County. Sources tell WRAL's NC Capital team Danish drug maker Novo Nordisk has more than $1 billion invested in the county. Novo Nordisk is the maker of Ozempic and Wegovy. The company has been ramping up global manufacturing as demand grows for the drug. The expansion is expected to create about 1,000 new jobs and pump $1.5 billion into Johnston County's economy. County leaders will meet Monday to talk about possible incentives connected to the deal.
UNC's baseball season has come to an end in the College World Series. The Heels came up short in their elimination game against the Florida State team yesterday in Omaha. The Seminoles won that game 9-5. And NC State's baseball team is back home in Raleigh after their incredible run in the College World Series. Dozens of fans greeted the team bus yesterday to celebrate their season. The Wolfpack were eliminated with a loss to Florida on Monday.
Coming up on 10 minutes after 6 on your Wednesday, an American soldier is now facing almost 4 years in a Russian prison. The accusations against him that led to that sentence.
And state DOT workers will be competing today to see who's best at using heavy equipment. The events that are happening today at the state fairgrounds.
And a fairly comfortable Juneteenth today. Yes, we'll see a high of 90, but our humidity stays fairly low for the next couple of days. Then make indoor plans for the weekend. We have dangerous heat on the way. I'll show you what it will feel like coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
612, taking a live look at our cameras. Beautiful out there this morning. A live look at Durham at the DBAP, 69 degrees and that pretty sunrise there as we look past Dix Park toward downtown. 69. It's 64 in Fayetteville right now. Temperatures are mostly in the low to mid 60s, a little cooler than it was this time yesterday with nice low humidity. It's a really nice morning. If it's between you and somebody else walking the dog this morning, I would volunteer. It's so nice out there. Nice mild start. We're seeing a good bit of sunshine. As pleasant as it is this morning, it is going to be a hot afternoon with a high of 90 degrees, but the humidity stays low. Should be a really nice day at the pool, especially if you can find yourself an umbrella. Now, of course, the weekend totally different. We may see some dangerous heat. I'll show you that coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, I did enjoy that comfortable weather when I walked out this morning. Taking a look at your morning commute this morning, relatively quiet to say the least. In the capital city, the Beltline 87 coming in from Knightdale, all free and clear this morning. Durham and Chapel Hill, all the major routes are delay free this morning. Thought we'd give you an idea of what's going on out there. This is a live look at I-40 and Lake Wheeler Road. The westbound lanes moving away from us. Delay free this morning, which is what people want to hear this time of the morning, Michelle.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks, Ken. Well, several new developments in a story the WRAL Investigates team uncovered on Monday night. Our team discovered the Harlan Fry, which is the Human Resources Director for the State Department of Revenue, was caught on camera getting arrested on a charge of arranging a meeting with a child for lewd purposes. This YouTube video shows a man confronting Harlan Fry at a Hyatt hotel in Long Beach, California, asking him questions, the same man you can see in the state-issued photo. In the video, Fry says the person he was supposed to meet with was a 15-year-old and he may have wanted to engage him in sex. At the end of the video, police arrive, ask him questions, and then put him in handcuffs.
I did say some things about that. I shouldn't have said. Yeah, I just shouldn't have done it.
Long Beach police wrote in a statement, the preliminary investigation indicates suspect Fry arranged a meeting with a minor being portrayed by a cyber vigilante for lewd purposes. Fry has since been released. He was fired last week on Monday, one day after his arrest.
New this morning, a U.S. soldier has been sentenced to nearly 4 years in a Russian prison on charges of theft and threatening murder. Staff Sergeant Gordon Black was arrested in May on charges of theft. According to a Russian news agency, Black stole money from a woman he believed to be his girlfriend. He was also accused of assaulting that woman. Black's lawyer says he will appeal the sentence.
A new White House policy could shield undocumented spouses and children of U.S. citizens from deportation. They would also be allowed to work legally while they seek citizenship. The policy, which uses a legal authority known as parole in place, will be in effect for those who have been in the U.S. for a decade. Immigration advocates say the executive action by President Biden is the biggest move since DACA protected undocumented people brought here as children.
2 separate wildfires in Northern California are forcing people to leave their homes. This is video of the Arrow Fire, which has burned more than 5,000 acres. Officials say thousands of businesses and homes are at risk. Meanwhile, firefighters in Southern California are increasing their containment of wildfires that have burned more than 15,000 acres.
Today, a mural honoring Willie Mays will be dedicated in his home state of Alabama. It was already planned before Mays' death yesterday at the age of 93. It comes one day before a game in Birmingham between the San Francisco Giants and the St. Louis Cardinals to honor the Negro Leagues. Mays started his career in the Negro Leagues before joining the Giants, where he played for 20 years.
Today, state DOT workers will show off their skills. The DOT's Equipment Operators Safety Training Conference includes competitions in operating heavy equipment, like the DOT Olympics. I love it. Operators will show off their skills and expertise as they compete in 8 categories. It is happening at the State Fairgrounds starting at 9:30 this morning.
Sanford will celebrate Juneteenth today with a program at W.B. Wicker Elementary School that gets started at 6. A Juneteenth cookout is set for Robbins Height Park in Rayford from 6 to 9 tonight, and Duke Gardens will have a special edition of its Music in the Garden event at 7, and there will be a party in the park at Hub ARTP in Morrisville from noon to 2.
Here in the WRAL Live Center and keeping my eye on Texas right now. This is a live camera from Galveston. You'll see it's some kind of pier area where the wind is blowing there, and you can even see the water there over to the side where there's some white caps that are developing. I'm going to show you another camera here to see if maybe it readjusted, because it gives you a better perspective from Port Arkansas there as well. You'll see again those white caps as this area is getting kind of blustery from those winds there. And Elizabeth Gardner has been tracking the tropics as it relates to all of this, and I can see it very active on the radar behind you, Elizabeth.
Yeah, so we do have a potential tropical cyclone that's likely to make landfall here in Mexico, but it's pushing lots of rain up into Texas as well. So Texas will be impacted by this too. Sort of a broad circulation here, technically not a closed circulation there in the Gulf of Mexico, or technically the Bay of Campeche, which is down here. And if it finally gets a closed circulation, it'll be called Tropical Storm Alberto. But because it doesn't meet all the criteria to become a tropical storm, it is still a potential tropical cyclone. But the first of the year, this is our first tropical system of the year. Moving northwest at 8 with winds at 40 miles per hour. It's likely to make landfall at 45 miles per hour a little later on this evening or overnight tonight. But still spreading, even though it's going to make landfall way down here, definitely spreading a lot of rain up into Texas. And there is a tropical storm warning in effect for almost the entire coast of Texas. Storm surge 3 to 4 feet, and that's pretty significant. Texas has the same sort of barrier islands that we do here in North Carolina. So 3 to 4 feet will be significant for those islands. And then the heavy rain that's going to cause flooding. You can see there we get up to a couple of areas in yellow. That's going to give us 5 to 10 inches of rain there. That's going to cause some flooding, even more, up to 15 to 20 inches of rain across parts of Mexico, and in a very heavily mountainous area where there'll likely be mudslides and probably some deadly flooding. And then to be followed up by another storm in that same area this weekend. We also have a very small chance of a wave developing off the coast of the southeast, and we'll watch both of these. So this is PTC-1 making landfall tonight. Lots of rain spreading up through Mexico and Texas. And then also this wave moving on up and bringing some moisture in. Maybe not enough for rain for us over the weekend, but it will bump up our humidity. And then here's system number 2 that develops over the weekend in the Bay of Campeche and spreads even more rain across parts of Mexico and Texas by the weekend. So double punch there. Pretty conditions around our area this morning. We take a live look across our area. It's very comfortable to start with, and we'll see highs in the low 90s this afternoon for the next couple of days. It will feel like 103 on Saturday and 108 on Sunday, though, with the heat index. So we're looking at the potential for some dangerous heat, possibly a heat advisory. We're dry really all the way until, say, Monday. That's going to be our next best chance of rain. Finally, a cold front comes through, but even after that front comes through, it is still going to be hot, slightly cooler from Monday. And 95, but back to 99 on Tuesday. And coming up, we're going to talk more about what our impacts could be with this extreme heat over the weekend. Ken?
All right, Elizabeth, boy, knock on wood, we're getting really quiet start to the morning commute this morning, and that's a good thing. Everywhere you look on the Triangle and surrounding communities, nothing but green on our traffic map this morning, and that's exactly what we want to hear, right? This is a live look now at the Beltline, the northern section of the Beltline at I-440 and Lake Boone Trail. Remember, there's a new traffic shift there in this north part of the Beltline, shifting the new traffic to the new Wade Avenue and Hillsborough Street bridges. So keep that in mind as you navigate this northern section of the Beltline.
All right, thanks, Ken. Another local competitor will be in the pool tonight trying to qualify for the Olympic Games. A look at the qualifying efforts for others from the area during Team USA trials.
And an iconic spoof movie may be making a return. The plans to bring another Spaceballs movie to the big screen coming up in What's Trending. And here's a look at your winning NC Education lottery numbers.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Ariana Grande is responding now after a viral video where her voice changes from deep pitched to high pitched mid-interview.
Yeah, Ken Smith is here now with What's Trending, Ken.
I mean, how often do we ask, speaking of anchor voice, what is that? It's my voice. Well, listen, this is getting a lot of attention. Thousands commented on the video saying it proves Grande puts on a fake voice. Well, you decide. Take a listen.
I was like, what has happened? Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I've been writing a lot, and maybe there's some more.
Yeah. Well, Grande added her own comments saying this is a technique she uses for her vocal health, not to be fake.
Yeah, she says, listen, guys, I've been doing this for forever. I mean, this is nothing new. This is something that I do, like Ken said, to preserve her voice. She just released a new studio album, which she said she didn't plan on doing, but she released the album. She's Glinda in the Wicked movie. So she said, listen, I have to preserve my voice. Girls got to give her voice a break.
Well, it's pitch, range, inflection. I mean, that's part of it, isn't it?
Part of it. Yeah.
It's all good.
Much ado.
All right, how about this? Mel Brooks wants to bring Spaceballs back to the big screen. Industry insiders say Josh Gad will star in the sequel that is now in the early production phase. The original Spaceballs came out back in 1987 as a parody of Star Wars and other sci-fi flicks.
Yeah, the dark helmet, Rick Moranis, John Candy in it.
Iconic.
Bring it back.
It's
Why
so
not?
good.
Yeah.
Mel Brooks is involved. Just bring it back.
May the Schwartz be with you. Not the Force, the Schwartz.
That's so good.
I love it.
Ken, thanks. Big congratulations to the Carolina Mudcats. This was their celebration last night because they clinched the first half championship in the Carolina League's North Division. So the league's playoffs pit divisional winners from the first half of the season against the winner of the second half of the season. They play each other. So the Mudcats, they already know they'll be playing postseason baseball in September.
Congratulations to them. Well, this morning on Today, visit Harry Styles' rural hometown in northern England. Take an exclusive look at the recently launched Harry Styles Hometown Walking Tour, which takes fans to spots that were important to Styles as he grew up. Today airs at 7 o'clock right here on WRAL.
A family escaped a fire in southern Wake County. What we know about that fire that badly damaged this home in Willow Spring.
And heading out the door this morning, it actually feels fairly comfortable. Most of us are starting off a little cooler and even a little less humid than this time yesterday. I'll show you where we're headed, though, over the weekend as we see the dangerous heat.
And crews from several counties battle a massive fire at a pallet business near Dunn. The flames and smoke visible to drivers on I-95 into the early morning hours.